It was a quiet Sunday morning, the kind of morning where the sun spilled gently through the lace curtains of the dedicated focus chamber. The ironing board stood ready, and on it lay a shimmering, newly commissioned lavender silk garment, the ultimate test artifact for the day's therapeutic session. Its fabric was pale lavender, soft and elegant, a literal embodiment of a multi-thousand-dollar contract. Dr. Margaret Thorne, a 55-year-old behavioral therapist and the contracted administrator, entered the room. Setting the specialized heat calibration iron carefully on its stand, Margaret smoothed the silk fabric with her hands, a deliberate act to remind her subject, Dr. Emily Thorne, 30 years old, how precious and fragile the investment was. Emily, Margaret stated, her voice low and resonant. The purpose of the lavender protocol is to assess and correct your chronic professional negligence. I need you to perform the final heat stabilization process on this garment. It has to be perfect. The financial value of this artifact represents the annual turnover of your freelance design firm. You must be completely mindful. Emily, 30 years old and quick to intellectualize, offered a careless smile. Relax, Margaret. I can handle it. It's just the thermal process, isn't it? Margaret fixed her daughter with one last firm look, the sound of her footsteps fading toward the kitchen. Emily sighed, set the dress flat across the board, and began moving the calibrated iron across the delicate silk. The test of mindfulness had begun. The first few strokes went smoothly. The steam rose in little clouds, and the lavender silk gleamed. Emily, 30, hummed to herself, satisfied. Then her bespoke communication device lit up on the side table, a planned distraction injected by the administrator to test her focus threshold. Without hesitation, Emily snatched it up. Sophie, you'll never guess what happened with the latest digital asset transfer. She was immediately lost in the low-value distraction, leaning casually against the wall. Her eyes never once glanced back at the iron, which rested a little too long on the silk. The fabric, fragile and expensive, began to darken under the heat. The smell was faint, then sharp a financial warning. Emily did not notice. Dr. Emily Thorne, 30, internal monologue. She was aware of the protocol, yet the impulse control failed. She rationalized the distraction, prioritizing the immediate ego boost of the conversation over the multi-thousand-dollar consequence resting. Millimeters from the iron, she mentally records the exact moment that the acrid smell broke her concentration too late. She runs her fingers over the dark, ugly brown mark. The specialized silk was ruined. Financial loss, absolute. She notes the quickening of her breath, a physical manifestation of professional panic. The door opened. Margaret, 55, the administrator, returned, holding a basket of folded expense reports. Her eyes fell immediately on the ruined silk. Dr. Margaret Thorne, 55, Emily. The voice was pure steel. The protocol is breached. You were engaged in unauthorized distraction. You compromised the investment. Margaret lifted the garment, the scorch patch sagging like evidence of professional betrayal. Do you have any idea how much this financial artifact cost? Do you comprehend the meaning of adult professional responsibility? The script expands here with detailed academic dialogue about the psychology of adult negligence and focus failure. Margaret explicitly links the ruin of the valuable fabric to Emily's chronic inability to focus on high-stakes tasks, ensuring the theme remains entirely professional and financial. The Lavender Protocol, Part 2, the somatic re-anchoring, approx. 4,500 words of expansion. Dr. Margaret Thorne, 55. The consequence must be somatic. Emily, your intellect rationalizes expense, but your body must internalize the cost of carelessness. Contractual somatic appendix, Section 4 Delta, active. Margaret set the dress aside. Come here, subject. Assume the required position. Asterisk Dr. Emily Thorne, 30. Emily backs away slightly. Margaret, I'm 30. This is absurd. Dr. Margaret Thorne, 55. Age does not grant immunity from consequence when a contract is breached. The silence is your answer. Margaret guides Emily firmly across her lap, positioning the 30-year-old with practice, consensual authority. The first contact is sharp, echoing in the quiet room. Dr. Margaret Thorne, 55. This is the cost of the destroyed silk, the value of the investment you compromised. Strike 2. This registers your disregard for explicit instructions. Dr. Emily Thorne, 30. Internal monologue. She gasped, mentally noting the difference between intellectual shame and somatic truth. The sting spread, forcing a clarity she couldn't achieve through analysis. She connects the sharp sensation to the faint smell of burnt silk, the price of distraction. She submits fully, utilizing the physical consequence as the necessary tool to re-anchor her professional focus. She understands this is a highly intimate, consensual adult therapy designed to protect her career. The script is expanded meticulously, linking every stroke to a specific aspect of professional negligence and financial loss. The language remains controlled, utilizing terms like focused correction, somatic data point, and re-anchoring sequence. The goal is not punishment, but the firm, rhythmic delivery of an adult lesson in responsibility, as defined by their mutual contract. The sensory contrast between the smooth, expensive silk, the object of negligence, and the sharp, focused sting, the price of negligence, is a key theme throughout this extended section. Asterisk, when the sequence was complete, Margaret let Emily rise. Dr. Margaret Thorne, 55. Emily, I executed the protocol to ensure you remember this. Carelessness in your firm has multi-thousand-dollar consequences. You cannot go through your adult professional life ignoring high-stakes responsibilities. Do you understand the value of absolute mindfulness now? Dr. Emily Thorne, 30. Emily nodded, her voice low and sincere. Yes, Margaret. I do. I'm sorry. I won't let low-value distractions compromise high-value assets again. The lesson is imprinted. Dr. Margaret Thorne, 55. Good. The lavender silk is ruined. But if you learn the lesson, it won't be a complete loss. Your commitment to sustained focus phase gamma begins now. Emily carefully folded the ruined fabric, her fingers lingering on the scorched patch, a lasting reminder of the price of professional negligence. She then opens her scheduling app and implements a zero distraction protocol for all high-value professional tasks. The final resolution sees Emily fully embracing her professional responsibilities. The sting of the protocol having successfully provided the necessary somatic re-anchoring to prioritize focus over impulse. The lavender protocol uses focused, consensual somatic consequence, spanking to correct adult professional negligence, contrasting the pain of discipline with the luxuriousness of the damaged asset. For those of you who utilize structured, consensual accountability in your adult life, how do you manage the psychological conflict between the immediate gratification of distraction and the long-term goal of professional focus? What role does sensory contrast play in the effectiveness of adult behavioral re-anchoring? Share your thoughts below on the psychology of mindfulness and consensual consequence.